Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We're your friends Lauren and Maddie, and we're back for another episode. Today we are talking all about our trips that we went on last weekend, or I guess last week. Lauren was in Barbados and I was in Colorado visiting my friend. And then we're going to discuss some events that are going on in the world. We haven't done that in a few weeks, so we'll get into it. And then the topic of today's episode, if you saw the title, you probably know, but we're going to be discussing kind of like the transition points in your life and how we can create new routines to kind of create the life that we want. So I'm super excited to get into that. But before we start, let's talk about our trips a little bit. I haven't heard much about what Lauren did in Barbados, so it'll be good to catch up.
Yeah, I was in Barbados for a week from Tuesday to Tuesday, so I just got back like 2 days ago, and it was a lot of fun. My friend Madison is actually from Barbados, so she was hosting us, her family, and they planned a lot of very fun activities for us. So we went surfing, go-karting. Her family's very into racing, so they had like this racetrack and like these race cars that we got to ride in. And then we went catamaraning, and they took us on an island tour. We like sat in the back of her dad's pickup truck, which you can't do here, but apparently there it's okay, so that was fun. But they took us to different spots on the island. They have this lighthouse that's like 100 years old that you're probably not supposed to go on, but people like climb to the top of it, so we did that. There was this massive rock that we climbed on the beach. I'll probably post pictures of all of this on Instagram, so if you want to see more of it, head over there. But yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Sounds like a good time. Barbados is actually somewhere that I've never been. I don't think our family's been there before, so it's cool to go to a new place, especially with someone who actually lives there and, knows, is like local and knows everything, and I'm sure knows all the good restaurants and things to do, so that's super fun.
Yeah, it was nice, and we got to meet some of her friends as well. So just a very cool experience overall. But how was Colorado?
Colorado is good. I went to Denver to visit my friend who lives there. I think she's moving actually, so it was like the last trip to Colorado that we really have before she moves. And it was great. We went one night in Denver, and then we went to Aspen for a few days, which is somewhere I really have been wanting to go. Of course, it's more of like a winter spot, like a winter destination typically, but we went in the summer just because I've actually never been, and she's been a few times, and I just really want to go. And it was pretty amazing. I feel like it ruins every other ski town for you because it's just so much better than, like most ski places are like these fake villages that are created. It's like a resort kind of. Mm-hmm. Like even like Jackson Hole, which you would think sounds like, Jackson, Wyoming is obviously like a real town, but Jackson Hole, the ski resort, is like a ski resort. Like there's no cars really. They all kind of look the same. But Aspen's not like that at all. It is a real town. I think it was a silver mining town in the 1800s. So it's very Western vibes. And it's also cool because there's every designer store. So it'll be like a Western building, like an old Western building with Balenciaga inside. It just has like a Balenciaga sign, but the whole town looks very Western. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does sound cool. Very unique to the other places we've been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool. The only issue is it's so expensive. So it's somewhere you don't want to go for too long. But I need to go back in the winter and go skiing because it would be amazing. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, Barbados was kind of like that too. I was surprised by how expensive everything is. Like, I think that's just kind of part of it. Like, I don't know, like Aspen, everyone knows that traveling there is expensive, and it is expensive to live there. But even like the dinners and the activities and everything, they really do add up.
Yeah, I would say Aspen's probably one of the more expensive places I've ever been. And I was looking on Zillow just out of interest to see how the real estate is, and it's insane. Like a very small house in Aspen close to the downtown is like $8 million, like a 2-bedroom house. Like it's really crazy. And dinners are so, like, everything was hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but it was really fun, and obviously I want to go back, but in the winter for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe we can go this winter. Maybe we can convince Mom and Dad.
They love Aspen. My dad actually hates skiing and winter activities because he doesn't like to be cold, but he loves Aspen, so I feel like we can manipulate that situation. Also, it's so close to LA. It's like less than 2 hour flight, so very easy. We actually drove from Denver, so that was fine. Well, it was not that fine because on the way home we didn't take the highway. We did eventually, but when we were leaving Aspen, we weren't on the highway. We were on this like very terrifying road. Maybe I can post a picture of this turn on the highway, like a curve. I don't know how else to explain it. I'll post it on our story, but it was very, very scary. Like if it was the winter, you would literally fall off a cliff. Like it was so small, like so narrow, and you're on the side of the mountain. You have to cross over the mountain, so you go all the way up, and then you go all the way down the other side of the mountain. We're like, where are we?
Jeez. Sounds treacherous.
Yeah. It was pretty scary, but all in all, great time. Always love to see my friend. Don't know when I'm going to see her next. So she actually had to leave the U.S. on Tuesday because she's like out of time. And I'm like, welcome to my life.
So she's back here now in Canada?
Yeah, she's back in Canada. She's getting married soon. So I think she's going to have a really busy summer getting ready for the wedding.
I bet. I feel like weddings are a lot of work. There's a lot of planning that goes into them.
Yeah, it's crazy because obviously it's like the biggest event of her life so far. Like, I think it's a pretty big event in everyone's life, but then it's also just like one day.
Yeah, I know. People put a lot of work into their weddings. It's kind of I guess it's a celebration that you look forward to and all of that, so it makes sense, but also it's like crazy how much time, effort, money, all of that goes into weddings.
And then it's just over. And you spent so much money. Like, it's actually insane. In like a year of your life planning it. It's really crazy, but they're memories that you'll have forever. So, yes. Anyways, anything else to update us on?
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast before. I might have, but my friend Ashley is coming to visit on Sunday. She will be staying with me for like a week and a half, I think. But I haven't seen her since the beginning of the pandemic because she lives in England. So very excited to see her. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do together. We're going to have to come up with some activities. So maybe I can convince her to come on the podcast. I don't know if she would be into the whole like public speaking thing, but I'll do my best.
Well, it's not really public because it's just the two of you and a microphone and a camera.
Yeah.
So
maybe
you can tell her it's not live. You can edit it.
I'll try and convince her.
So if she says anything. Yeah, let's see. Next week, that's got to be the episode. We'll see if it happens. But anyways, that'll be fun.
How about you? Anything else going on in your life?
Well, it's 4th of July on Monday, which we'll get into. I feel a little bit weird celebrating 4th of July, to be honest, because the U.S. is not really something like a place that I want to be. How would I explain this? Like not showing off, but like, do you know what I mean? I guess celebrating.
Yeah.
I've seen some comments that are like, are we celebrating 4th of July this year?
I know. That is definitely true. Even Canada Day, I'm always like a little hesitant. I don't know. There's definitely parts of Canada and America's history that you don't want to celebrate.
Right. Well, Canada Day, it seems to be better than Independence Day this year. I guess it's about independence. It's not about like what's currently going on. But anyways, that's Monday. So this weekend will be busy with events. I have so much work to catch up on just because I was away for 5 days and like didn't really go on my laptop that much. I feel like it's always hard because when you're doing things, whether you're on vacation, well, we never really go on vacation. It's like a content creation opportunity. Like, you know, when you go on a trip or something, we're like trying to get good photos and make TikToks. And I'm like, how can I wear my clothes here and like, you know, get good content for my brand? So it's not like I'm on vacation, but I don't do the computer work that I have to do, like the stuff where you're just sitting at your laptop for hours. So I need to catch up on that as well.
Yes, I feel that as well. Even when I was away, like this is the first trip I've been on, I think, without our family. So it was weird to just be with my friends, and like I was still trying to take pictures and videos, and I've been on my Reel game recently, so I was trying to like make videos for that as well. But it felt weird to be like not doing anything really work related for the week.
And like, do people go on vacation and like relax, like not work?
Like not even think about it.
It just seems like vacation is such a great opportunity to take photos and make content,
Well,
which is really important, actually.
it's only because you work in this industry, you know? Like most people don't,
Yeah.
so they don't see it as like a content creation opportunity. It's just kind of a time to relax.
Right. All right. Well, let's get into current events. Obviously, the most relevant and the most important at the moment is the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court. I think this was just last Friday. Well, when you're listening to this, it was a few weeks ago. But obviously was a devastating piece of news. And although we're not American, it affects us because we live in the U.S. Well, I live in the U.S. full time. Lauren lives in the U.S. Oh, wait, you are American.
I was going to say, speak for yourself.
Well, we are Canadian
yeah,
citizens.
we're Canadian
we don't
first.
identify as American.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been living in Canada full time for the last few years. But obviously, it's just devastating on the world stage because it feels like we're just going back so far in the past and like we've made progress because the case of Roe v. Wade was decided in 1973. So it just is crazy that we're now going back decades worth of progress, or at least that's what it feels like to me.
No, I totally agree. It's crazy that in this year something like that could happen. And it also is like worrying because you don't know what it could mean for other like rights that are currently constitutionally protected. Like if it was so easy for them to reverse that, what's next is kind of what I think a lot of people are thinking right now.
Yeah, and it feels like we've gotten to a place where like we have control over our like private lives, you could say, like whether it's like the things that are constitutionally protected as well. Like, for example, the right to gay marriage, like you know what I mean? Like how are these things now being overturned? And like you said, it seems like was done so easily. I'm not sure if that's the case or if we just don't hear about the process.
Yeah.
But it is insane that like a certain number of people can make a decision about everyone's like future body, even like relationships, if it's like a question about gay marriage and stuff like that. Like I just can't believe it.
And also make a decision that doesn't even represent what the people want. Like the majority of people didn't want Roe v. Wade to be overturned, and it still was. So it's like if the Supreme Court isn't representing the people, then that's concerning as well.
Well, that's true because so I don't know too much about, I should have looked into this first, but U.S. politics, I don't know so much about. But the Supreme Court, our judges are appointed. They're not elected representatives. So it is concerning that in a democracy where you feel like your voice and your perspective is heard or should be heard, that you're right, like a group of people that were not elected, they're appointed, can make decisions that will affect like hundreds of millions of people and their future and their children. Like it's insane. We need to get Dad on the podcast because he would know way more about this.
I will say Dad said something interesting to me, and I don't really know enough to know whether I agree with this, but he said that like by overturning Roe v. Wade and allowing like the states to decide whether abortion is legal or like how restricted it is, like the people that are then deciding are like elected representatives, because it's like the states, what are those people called? Sorry, I'm blanking.
Governors, I don't know. Yes. I don't know much about like local politics, especially in the U.S., but I think it's governors of states.
Yeah, you're right on that, I think. Politics work differently in Canada, so we don't know all the terminology, but I thought that was an interesting perspective, but also, I don't know. I do think it should be constitutionally protected, so I don't really know where I stand on that.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
It makes sense to a certain extent, but I think there's a lot of other factors that are at play. Like, say you're living in a Republican state, but you vote Democratic, but the majority of people vote Republican and your governor is a Republican governor. but you can't afford to travel or go somewhere else, like, or move. Like, it is tricky, but I guess that's how politics and democracy works. Like, the majority wins.
Right.
But it's just really frustrating, and it does disproportionately affect people who are living in poverty, or not even living in poverty, but just can't afford to travel. Like, it would cost thousands of dollars to go to a different state, and it's crazy.
The Supreme Court decision is so upsetting to us, but we're not even the people that are really, like, primarily affected by it. Like, we live in California, and like, we have the money to travel if we needed to, like, you know. So it's not even really about us, although everyone's affected. It's mainly about the groups that are predominantly affected by the decision.
Right. And I guess that's why I'm mostly, like, saddened, or what makes me so angry is, like, the reversal of progress. But yeah, if you lived in a Republican state and the people that were affected were you and your neighbors and your friends and your family, like, I would be, like, outraged. And that's why I feel so much empathy for those people as well. So there's no easy transition from a topic like this to the rest of our conversation today, but I've heard so many podcasts say this as well. It's like, how do you transition from something like this?
Honestly. It's like, so who's Charli D'Amelio dating? Like, no.
Literally.
But
topic number 2. But anyways, we just wanted to, of course, address that. And we don't really talk about serious issues on the podcast just because Lauren and I don't feel like we're necessarily the most educated people. And as you'll probably hear from that conversation, there's a lot of things that we don't totally understand. But I think that a lot of people are in this place where they're just trying to figure out how they think and how they feel. And obviously it's a very complicated issue. So we just want to put our perspective out there and say that we're thinking of everyone. And I don't know how to transition.
No, I know. It is definitely hard to articulate even, like, how we feel about it. But I think that as people with a platform, like, we should, and I want to. So I'm glad that we could talk about it, but we definitely don't have all of the answers or really know the entire, like, how everything works even, as you can probably tell. But all we know is that, like, it is very upsetting, and I just can't believe this is happening in 2022, but here we are.
So in the description or the show notes, I will link some charities or organizations that we can all donate to. Just even if you just want to look into them and see what they're doing and, like, learn a little bit more about this issue. I think that that's helpful as well if you don't have funds to donate, but I'll leave them there just in case you do.
Yeah, and apart from just, like, donating, there's other things you can do as well, other ways to get involved. So if we could also link some like, information about that. You know, there's petitions, people you can call, all of that. So anything you can do to help at this point helps.
Yes. All right, so we will attempt to transition to our next piece of news, which, as Lauren said, Charli D'Amelio and Landon Barker are allegedly dating. Do you know anything about this?
No, the first I heard of this was when you mentioned it earlier, but I didn't. I feel like that feels like a odd pair. I don't know, maybe they, like, have known each other for a while, but
I feel like it's not an odd pair, but there is some drama because Landon was best friends with Lil Huddy.
Oh, I didn't know this. Chase?
And is his name Little or Lil Huddy?
I think it's Lil.
Okay, so Lil Huddy deleted photos of Landon from his Instagram because he went to Courtney and Travis's wedding with Landon.
Oh.
So I guess Chase had photos up from the wedding or whatever, photos of them in general. He deleted the photos and then he unfollowed Charli, Dixie, and their whole family on Instagram.
What? Okay, wait, when did Lil Huddy, when did Chase and Charli stop dating? I feel like, haven't they, not been dating for a while now?
I'm not too sure. I don't really follow along that closely, but maybe 6 months or so.
Okay. I kind of thought it had been longer than that. But still, I don't know. Actually, maybe
But
there's
Chase
some beef
and
behind the
Landon are
scenes.
friends.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Like, it was a very small wedding, and somehow he got a +1 in Italy. And they went to Italy for the wedding.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
obviously they were pretty close.
I didn't realize that Landon hung out with all of those kids, all the
Yeah.
TikTokers. I haven't seen him for years, personally, since our dance classes
yeah.
at Millennium.
I forgot you guys were friends. Can we get a photo?
Friends.
That's some tea. You went
I
to their
like-
birthday party.
Yeah, I maybe met him like a few times. I think we knew him through Hayden, I think.
Yeah. I think I met them a few times. Alabama, Landon. It rings a bell.
Yeah, it's now been like years, though.
Yeah. Anyways, so you should really listen to BFFs and The Morning Toast because this is where I get all my information. But that's the story. Don't have much else to say. But they were actually photographed holding hands, leaving either a party or one of his shows. But it looked like, obviously, you know the paparazzi are going to be there taking photos, so you want to be seen.
Well, maybe it was like a intentional little ploy they had.
Who knows? Anyways, next up, another Barker story. Have you heard about Travis Barker's health issues?
No.
Well, yesterday it was reported that he was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, which sounds pretty bad. And then today it was released that he has pancreatitis, which I think is inflammation of the pancreas. Not too sure.
Is that
So-
like something that you easily recover from? How's he doing? Do we know?
I don't think it's too bad. I think he'll be fine, but it's very painful. It's like I don't even know what to compare it to, but you do need to go to the hospital. So hopefully he feels better soon.
Interesting. Well, I'm wishing him all the best. Hope he makes a speedy recovery.
Yes. Next up, have you heard about Kendall Jenner and Devin Booker?
Oh, they broke up, right?
Yeah, but then they were photographed together, back together, like laughing. So it's unclear.
The only reason I even knew about their breakup was because of JC. JC Marie Smith. For those of you who don't know her, I follow her on
She's so
TikTok
funny.
and I absolutely die at her videos comparing herself to Kendall Jenner. And like,
No, the
It was-
best is she thinks that Kendall's copying her.
yes, because Kendall dyed her hair orange and
Red,
JC's
orange.
Okay.
It's red. No one says orange, Lauren.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me go again. Because Kendall dyed her hair red. Really? No one says orange?
Literally no one would say orange hair, like unless you're like 4 years old.
When did we make the switch? And why
Like-
did no one tell me?
I have never said orange in my life.
Huh.
Redhead.
Yeah, but it's not really red.
Yeah,
When
it's
I think red, I think like fake red. Like, you know?
No.
Okay, well, my bad. Kendall dyed her hair red, and JC's hair is also red, so, you know, clearly Kendall's copying her.
But there was some other like factors in this story. Basically, JC's obsessed with Devin Booker
Yes.
and the Phoenix Suns, I believe is the team that he plays for. And JC was at the Suns game and got on the Jumbotron. So that's how she thinks that Devin is like in love with her from seeing her on the Jumbotron. And then he told Kendall about her, and then Kendall started to copy her. And there's been a lot of other weird coincidences. So that's the story. JC's so funny. She's coming on the podcast soon, so stay tuned for that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to her. I'm a big TikTok follower, big TikTok fan of hers.
I was dying today because she is back on Instagram now. She like deleted her Instagram for a while. And her story, she was landing at the airport at LAX and she was by the baggage claim and she took a video of all the people that stand right next to the baggage claim. You know, like how people literally
Yeah.
will stand with their knees touching it, and she goes, jail. She's
That is
so
funny.
funny. It's so true though. Like I hate those people so much. Like please stop doing that.
No, I was at the airport the other day, I don't even know when I came back, 2 days ago, I think. And I'm like trying to get my bag off of the carousel. No one helps me. And also,
No.
listen to this. The zipper on my bag broke, so I had to duct tape it closed to get it back here. So I'm trying to get my duct tape bag off of the carousel, and everyone's just in the way, and no one helps. They just watch me struggle. So
Every
embarrassing.
time I'm like at the airport and that happens, I'm like, chivalry is dead. And do I look like I'm strong?
I'm like,
I'm
this bag
struggling.
probably weighs the same amount as me, and no one can lend a hand. Like, you're all there waiting.
No, chivalry is actually dead at the airport. Nobody cares.
Yeah, and clearly teamwork does not make the dream work. They think I can do it on my own.
Yeah, they just can't be bothered, I guess. So rude, honestly.
So rude.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all for the current events segment of the podcast. Thanks for listening to that. Next up, we've got a discussion on phases. Well, we've talked about phases in our life before, so maybe we can just quickly glaze over that. Reminds me of Hailey Bieber's strawberry glazed skin smoothie. Are you excited to try Hailey Bieber smoothie at Erewhon? Because it's really good.
Oh, I thought that was like one of her skincare products. Yes.
Did you buy Rhode?
No, I didn't. But I heard JC talking about it.
Because she got a PR package from Rhode.
Wow. How did we get on that?
We didn't get it. I'm really disappointed. But I might. Oh my gosh. I have something else to tell you.
What?
So yesterday I was at Forma Pilates. And I booked an 8 a.m. class because I was supposed to go with my friend. And she can only do an 8 a.m. Normally I wouldn't do that so early. But it was with the owner who... you haven't met the owner. But she's cool. We filmed a video with her before. Whatever. She's a nice girl. And I do love her class, and it's hard, and she like doesn't really teach that much. So I'm like, okay, my friend didn't get in, but I'll still go because I like Liana. Has a good class. So I go, and in the classes, you probably don't know who these people are, but Lauren Perez and Harry Hudson, who are both friends of the Kardashians and stuff.
Oh.
Bella,
Cool.
Gigi, they're friends. And then Liana goes, Hailey was supposed to come, but she couldn't come, so Lauren came instead. And I was like, Hailey Bieber was supposed to come? Like, Are you kidding me? So now I'm just thinking I'll go to all of Liana's classes until I meet Hailey and ask her about Rhode. And if she'd like something from my brand.
That feels a bit stalkerish, but I mean, you could just call it hustling, I guess.
But yeah, that was fun. Okay, next up, let's talk about the point of this episode, which was, okay, I don't even know how to explain this or what we're going to really title this, but it's about phases in your life, that transition point between phases, and how to construct a routine that will lead you towards the life that you want and your goals and your dreams and all of that. So, Lauren, I feel like this is relevant for you because you are in a transition phase, right? Like after high school and going into university. When you're in university, you have way more freedom to do what you actually want to do because, number one, you're not living with your parents. So it just allows you to have more flexibility to decide what you actually like and what you don't like and, you know, what you want your daily routine to be. And then number two, you have way more time because in high school, you were at school from like 8 till 6 p.m., right? Like even before you lived at the school, like you were there all day. And then when you got home, like you didn't have much time for yourself. So university is not really like that, at least from my experience. You have way more time on your hands because maybe you have like 3 hours of class per day, but you have the morning to do what you want. You have the evening to do what you want. So it's great. So I think it's an important time because before you enter this next phase, you should take time to think about what sort of life you want. It sounds scary, but I've heard this theory. Okay, I'm talking a lot, but after I say this, you can talk.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the question.
Okay, so here it is. So I heard this theory where if you want to accomplish something, what you need to do is look 5 years ahead, right? Because people underestimate what they can do in 5 years, but they overestimate what they can do in 1 year, 1 month, 1 day. I know I definitely do that, especially with 1 day. And So the key is look 5 years ahead. Basically, you just have to decide what you need to do today to get closer to your 5-year goal. And as long as you're getting one step closer every single day, you'll reach your goals. And then with it, like before you know it and without really even trying, you're living a life that you want to live instead of being like kind of like lost in the process, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I need to figure out where I want to be in 5 years and then work backwards.
Exactly. And this can apply to every area of your life. You could have a 5-year goal for career, a 5-year goal for friendships, relationships, family. Like, say if you have hobbies, which you know how I feel about hobbies, but something like a personal thing or personal development. Like, what sort of person do you want to be in 5 years? It can even be like about how do you want to feel? How confident do you want to be? What do you want to look like? Like, it can really apply to everything.
Interesting. So, what would those goals look like? Like, how big is a 5-year goal for friendships, for example? Like, I don't know what kind of goal. I feel like most people might set goals for, like, career development, but not really for personal development in the same way or for their friendships. So, what should those goals look like?
Well, I feel like it doesn't need to be like a goal. It can be more like when you close your eyes and you visualize the life that you want to have in 5 years, what does it look like? Like, how many friends do you have? Where do they live? What type of people are they? Are they people that support every aspect of your career dreams? Like, you know, when you transition and you have more opportunity to kind of like reinvent yourself almost, especially if you're going to a school where you like don't know a lot of people or if it's like away from your hometown, you do have an opportunity to create the person that you want to be. So it can be more about stepping into that person or like visualizing her or him and then becoming them over the next number of years. And if 5 years seems too long, you can do 2 years and then work backwards from there. I know that's kind of more helpful for me because I'm like 5 years is I have no clue, right? You don't want to feel like that. You want the person, well, it's you. You want the future you to feel attainable and for you to be able to see them. And then it's like a better version of yourself.
Okay.
So let's do this for you because I feel like it's way more helpful for someone who's in a transition period because I don't know, it feels like it's like the January 1st or something. It feels like it's the first day of the year, the first day of a new school year or something. Like, it's so exciting. I mean, I guess it is the first day of a new school year, almost. And you know that feeling that you get on the first day, like, I can be whoever I want to be and this is a fresh start.
I definitely have a lot of decisions to make and like decisions to make, but also like I now have a lot of control over my life and where it goes, I guess. So every decision that I make should be part of like a bigger plan to get to where I want to be.
Exactly. And I wish that somebody told me this when I was your age and I was going to university because I definitely didn't like plan ahead or like look forward. I was kind of just in the process, like living in that and not really sure of where I wanted to go. And everything seemed unclear. Like I didn't know who I wanted to be or what I wanted to do even. And that's not a good feeling because it's very overwhelming to feel like you're not sure of what's going on in your life. And I think it's especially easy to become overwhelmed when there's so many options. Like you're at this new school, like for you, say you're moving to LA, you don't know anyone at your school, and you don't even know really what you want to do with your career or anything. Like it's like a fresh start, kind of. I mean, it was more of a fresh start when I was your age because we didn't have social media in the same way. Like we had social media, but it wasn't like now where people can literally learn all about you from your Instagram or your TikTok. But you still have a chance to decide what you want in your life.
I think, yeah, I agree with that for sure. I think even with social media, like most people don't show all of themselves on social media. And when you go to university, you can like change the person you are kind of, not in a bad way or like a way that's like disingenuous, but I think that it's hard in high school to even like change your style because people have known you for so long. So when you go to university, if you're going to a school where you're going to be meeting new people, which is pretty much every school, then you have an opportunity to just like make changes that you've been scared to make out of fear of what like your friends who have known you as a certain person for so long will think of like the changes you want to make and like the person you want to become.
Exactly. And this is especially true if you're from, I feel like, a small town, because you're limited by everyone else's mindset. And even if you have a different mindset than the people around you and you want to change or you want to, continue to improve, which I think is amazing, it's hard when you're in an environment where people are judgmental. Like, it's easy for us to be like, oh, who cares what people think? But I totally get it. I totally get being put in a box or limited by people's mindsets, or like you say, like when you start to change, your friends are like, what are you doing? Like, why are you wearing that? Or things that make them feel uncomfortable. So this really applies to any transition phase in your life. Like, you now have the ability to change and become the person that you want to become and live for yourself and make decisions for yourself. And yeah, I just think it's a really exciting time. So I want to talk about it. So let's talk about Lauren.
Oh.
Okay, so close your eyes. Here's the exercise, okay? Close your eyes.
How does it close?
Picture 21. 21-year-old Lauren.
Okay.
Where do you live? Let's start there.
Okay, wait, before we get into this, can I tell you something funny?
Sure.
I've recently discovered that I actually can't see anything when I close my eyes.
Oh.
Like, I wish I was kidding. But I'm not sure what I'm supposed to see because all I see is black.
I thought you were going to say that you recently discovered that you say your name wrong.
Me?
Have you seen this on TikTok?
No.
Okay, this is the craziest thing. We're going to keep this quick because I know we've been talking for a long time. But have you ever listened to Call Her Daddy?
Yeah, like an episode. I think I listened to the one with Emma Chamberlain.
Okay, well, she wasn't probably talking about this, but she has a friend that she calls Lauren. Like almost like Laren.
Okay.
I can't really say it, and I'm like, is that a joke? Like, is she just saying that as a joke? Because she's from, Boston, maybe Pennsylvania, something like that, but she doesn't have an accent. Alex doesn't. So I'm like, this must be a joke, right? Like, it's not Laren. But then I see a TikTok today that was like, oh, I should have sent it to you. Anyways, it was like, basically this girl's called herself her whole life Lauren, like Loren, that pronunciation. But then she moved somewhere and everyone calls her Laren. Like Lau sounds like Lao, not low.
Laren?
Yeah, like that.
Interesting.
So then she's like, have I been saying my name wrong my whole life?
Oh my gosh, no, I didn't see that, but way to get me thinking. Now, I don't know, but everyone else I know says Lauren.
Yeah, maybe it's just because you live in Canada.
Well, probably. But
I have to find this now to send it to you.
But what makes them right and us wrong, you know?
I think it's just the spelling. And then people are like, no, it's not the accent, it's the spelling. Like, if it was Lauren, it would be Loren. It's Lauren.
What are other AU
Lauren.
words?
My mind is blank. I don't know.
Okay, well, this is French. Like show? Showed?
Well, think about something in English.
Oh, Lauren. Oh, wow. That's new. Lauren.
Wow, we're on a tangent. Okay, back to...
no kidding.
Close your eyes.
Okay, well, back to what I was saying. I can't see anything when I close my eyes. Like, when you close your eyes, do you see things? Like, can you imagine things?
Describe something for me.
Like, okay, picture an apple. Do you see the apple?
No, I don't see it, but I can think about it.
Because I was talking to one of my friends about this because she was talking about counting sheep. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, like I count sheep to fall asleep. And I was like, what do you mean you count them? Where are they? She's like, no, they're like in your head. You count them. I'm like, literally, what are you talking about? She's like, I just imagine that they're sheep and then I count them until I fall asleep. And I'm like, I don't see sheep.
Like, is she picturing like a pasture?
Like, I think it's sheep jumping over like a little gate. That's what I kind of got from it, but I am not sure if that's the case.
I've visualized sheep before, but it's not like in a grass pasture. It's like in a black room with a black sky.
Okay, well,
Sheep.
I
Like
think
a video game almost, like a black sky with like a line, like a fence, just like you described, which is really weird. How did you know that?
well, I don't really know how to analyze what you're seeing. Like, maybe we can get a dream person on here, and they can interpret your dream or imagination.
It's not a dream.
It's not
I'm
even
awake.
a dream. You're awake. Your daydream, I guess.
Anyways, I don't know. I
Anyway.
can't like visualize and see something, but I can picture it or like think about it in my head.
Like, can you think of what mom's face looks like, for example?
I think so.
Oh, I think you might have the same issue I have. Like, I told my friends that I couldn't picture their faces when my eyes were closed, and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "No, but if I saw you, I would know it was you, but I just can't see you when my eyes are closed." Like, I
No,
can't.
like I can see Maya right now, your friend.
That is really random. So you can see
In my-
Maya, but not our mother.
No, I can see her too, but I don't need to close my eyes. It's like a picture in my head.
No, I can't do that.
Okay, so I don't see things in my eyes. Like when I close my eyes, I can't see anything. But like right now, I can think of what Maya's face looks like.
See, I like know Maya's face. Like, I would know her if I saw a picture or if she walked by. But like, I can't
Obviously.
imagine what her face looks like unless she's here.
That's weird.
And then I was talking to John, and he can't either. And also, like, can you imagine what people's voices sound like?
It depends who it is. Like
Interesting.
who?
I don't know.
Like-
Like anyone.
Yeah, like I can imagine Dad. I can imagine Lauren from the Skinny Confidential.
What about me?
Well, I'm listening to you right now, so that's not fair. But I think it's mostly people that I've heard recently.
Like, Darian said she can hear anyone saying whatever she wants them to say.
Okay, let me try it.
You guys can try it at home, too. Don't worry. We're not exclusive.
No, only if I've heard them say it before.
I
can't picture like that.
No, I don't think I can do that either.
Like picture Dad saying something that he says a lot. Like who knows what it would be. What about him saying Leo boy? Or no, what about where's my grandson?
Okay, maybe. But I can't actually hear it.
I can.
I don't know.
Weird, Lauren.
I think I have some imagination problems. Might be linked to my memory problems.
I was just going to say that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, we need to dive into this a little bit more. Maybe we need some sort of like brain health. You know, Dr. Daniel Amen needs to come on the podcast. I'm obsessed with him.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure who he is, but he's welcome.
He's like
Come
a
and
brain
analyze us.
doctor. He is the doctor for Justin Bieber. If you saw the documentary, Justin Bieber's documentary where he had the doctor in it talking about his brain, that's Dr.
Oh.
Daniel Amen. He's pretty cool guy.
Okay. Well, he's welcome to come on and tell me what's wrong with me because I would love to
Yeah.
know.
Well, okay, we're really on a serious tangent.
It has been 48 minutes, and I still don't know what routines I need to adopt to adjust to this new phase in my life, Madison.
This might be a two-parter. Okay, close your eyes. Close them.
They're closed.
Now picture yourself at age 21. What do you look like?
Is this a joke?
Okay, where do you live, Lauren? You don't need to picture it. You just think about it. You don't need to visualize. Just think about it with your logical brain if you can't
Okay.
visualize it.
Well, I probably will be living, 21.
So
That's like last year of university?
Yeah, 3 years from now.
Okay, well, I'll probably be living with like a few roommates off campus, but close. Yep.
What does your room look like? It's your dream. You don't need to like picture it from what you know. You can just like think about whatever you want. Like what would your dream room look like? What does your
Um,
space feel like? Is it neutral? Is it colorful? Is it clean? Is it
Definitely
messy?
clean. Definitely clean.
Okay.
I'll probably have like white bedding just because I think it keeps things clean. Maybe a few like fun throw pillows.
Oh, God, of course.
I've always wanted like a mirror wall, like different like vintage mirrors on my wall. So I think
Cool.
I'll finally have one of those. Oh, maybe I'll have one of those really long chargers so I don't have to get out of bed to plug in my phone.
The fact that you live like that is crazy. Like, who has to get out of bed to plug in their phone? That's insane.
It's good though because it gets me to turn off my alarm in the morning.
That's kind of smart. All right, so who do you live with? Like, what type of girls or guys are they?
Probably not guys because they're messy.
Probably girls,
generally.
realistically. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully we'll be friends.
Yeah, I would hope so. But
Um,
how do they act? Are they like outgoing? Are they shy? Are they confident? Are they clean? Are they messy?
Okay, I'm thinking they'll be clean.
How
Probably
many?
pretty outgoing. Like 2 or 3.
Okay, I think 2 is good.
You're like 3
Actually-
is kind of a lot.
3 could be good because 2, then one person's excluded.
Oh, true. But unless we can just be like a little group of 3. People
trio.
always say that trios don't work, and I have just not found that to be the case. I have a lot of good trios in my life. All of my friends are trios, pretty much.
Well, it's not necessarily that it won't work, but if somebody is less close, then there's sometimes some drama. Like that happened to me in university. So,
Okay, well, fine. I guess maybe I'll have 3 roommates then, or 1. But I feel like do most people have a lot of roommates in university?
it depends where you live. Like in LA, you're probably going to be in an apartment, so you probably will only have 1 roommate or 2 because you don't have a lot of space. But if you live in a
Right.
house, you could have like 3 or 4 roommates, and it's because you live in like a 5-bedroom house. But it's not like a shared room situation for the most part. Usually you have your own room. So
I
that
hope
means,
so.
yeah, I didn't picture 2 twins in your room. 2 twin beds, I mean.
Well, I feel like I've done that. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah.
Amon, if you're listening, you're a great roommate, but a little personal space wouldn't kill me, so.
You don't want to fall asleep staring at each other?
I know. You know, we did have
Oh.
our beds pointed at each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Well,
But
all right, so let's move on from that. In general, what type of friendships do you have? Like, what are the people around you like? What are their jobs? I mean, I guess you're in university. But like, what are they super driven? Are they ambitious? Are they fun? Do they like to go out? Like, you're 21. Do you like to go out on the weekends?
yeah, I think like we'll all go out together on the weekends, but during the week, work hard, grind. You have to like work for the weekend, so that you can enjoy yourself on the weekend and know that you had a productive week.
Yes.
I'm thinking they'll be chill, like down for whatever kind of thing.
Okay. Do you do like fun trips with your friends? What are your grades like? Like all of these things are really good to visualize because, I mean, I wish I got better grades in school, so I wish I had thought about it beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be a bit of an overachiever if I had to guess. Unless that
But-
whole burnout thing hits me. But
Burnout's a myth.
you see, you're like me, but I don't think it is.
Burnout, yeah, it's a myth. So,
Right, of course. I don't know. I think I'll try and work hard, but also try and balance everything else I have going on. What was your other question about me and my imaginary roommates? This feels weird.
I said, do you go on trips together? What do you guys do on the
Oh.
weekends?
Yeah, maybe like road trips. I don't know if I see us like traveling the world. Well, in university, maybe that would be like a summer thing if we were going to do it. But yeah, I think we'll like go on road trips to fun places in California. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That'll be so fun.
See? This is
Hopefully
such
they
a...
can drive though, because we know I can't.
So you're not going to get your driver's license?
I see myself getting my driver's license at some point, yes.
Okay. And I would encourage anyone who's doing this, like on your own time, to, if you're talking about career, to be like, this is how much money I make. And if you're talking about grades in school, be like, these are the grades that I get. Like, be very specific. Yeah, you don't have to like share your grade goals, but like definitely if you're writing this down and you want to do this, write down literally how much money you want to make and how much or how great you want your grades to be or what you want your grades to be.
Mm-hmm. You have to
What
be specific with
percentage?
your goals. Did you ever hear about SMART goals?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
I don't think we need to talk about it.
Oh, really?
Everyone talks about SMART goals.
Oh, I didn't know that was an everyone thing. I learned it in my business class last year. But make sure your goals are SMART. And if you don't know what that means, you're going to have to Google it because Maddie won't let me tell you. Basically, it just means like...
All right.
I don't
tell
know,
the people.
specific, measurable, attainable,
Realistic.
and timely.
Timely. Yeah.
SMART. So basically just you have to make sure that your goals are very specific and you like specify all of the rest of those things I mentioned so that I don't know, it kind of makes them more attainable or like helps you think about what you need to do to achieve them.
Yeah. It does. And I feel like goals are exciting when they feel like they're achievable. They're not really exciting. They're more like overwhelming if you don't break them down because then you kind of feel like, where do I even start? And there's also no way that I'm ever going to achieve this. Break down your big goals, maybe goals that you're like, ooh, I don't know if I can achieve this. And break them down year by year. And then once you're into your 1 year goals, you break it down to maybe like 6, 3, and 1 month. And then you've got a 1 month goal that you can achieve because it's not as crazy as your 1 year goal and not as crazy as your 5 year goal. And it hopefully, if it's all done correctly, it feels like something like, okay, if I work hard, I can get here. And what do I need to do today and tomorrow and the next day in order to get to my 1 month goal?
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, even from your 1 month goal, like that's how you kind of make your to-do lists every day.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of this exercise. And it doesn't need to be a goal. Like it doesn't need to be a dollar figure or something that's like a goal really, because I feel like life is not really about goals. It's more about visualizing yourself in a different place that you want to be and then getting there. And I guess like you talking about your friendships and what you guys do on the weekends, that's not a goal. That's just a guiding path for you for your life, you know?
Right. But
'Cause
there are
goals-
still like actions you can take from that. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
you want to meet people who are like you. Okay, then what are you going to do? You're going to join
Where are you gonna find
clubs.
those friends?
You're going to hang out in places that you like and do activities that you like and talk to other people there because they have similar interests. Things like that. Like even without concrete goals, like I'm going to meet 5 friends, for example. Like that's a bit weird, but you could instead say that I want to meet people like myself and go from there.
Totally. And like then also getting even more specific, what type of person do you need to be? Do you need to be a confident speaker? Do you have to strike up conversations with people? Do you need to make an effort with the friends that you already have? I just think being proactive with planning out not your life, but more so the path that you want to be on. And as we discussed I don't even know when this was, but the episode about living intentionally, this is to me what living intentionally means. It's not just like going through your life and waiting for things to happen to you. And not being reactive, but more being proactive about what you want in your life. And I think that this transition phase for you and anyone listening that feels like they're in a transition is an amazing time to start doing this. And even if you're not in a transition, like I'm not in any major transition right now, but I'm like, okay, there's 6 months left of the year. July 2nd is halfway through the year. How am I going to spend the next 6 months? What do I want to do? Or how do I want to feel in January of 2023? And how can I get to that person, a little closer to that person every single day?
Very true.
Maybe we can make like an exercise about this and I can post it on Instagram so that everyone can do it, because I know this episode has been a little bit all over the place, but I think it's really helpful to do. So I will make that and post it on our Instagram.
Okay, great idea. You can put your Canva powers to work.
Canva, please sponsor us. Like, I literally use Canva every single day.
Like, we're really big fans.
Huge fans. Canva Pro, call me.
Do you have Canva Pro?
Yeah, because I had to do something that was only Pro, so I had to buy it.
My school gave me a Pro account, but now they're starting to take away everything they gave me, like Photoshop and stuff. And I'm like, guys, don't leave me hanging like that.
So rude. Wow. Well, it's
But-
only like $12 or something, so
Maybe Canva will pull through and sponsor us.
you can use my login. I don't know if that's allowed, but anyways.
Maddie, they're not going to sponsor us if we're promoting such behaviors.
Well, I think that is it for this week's episode. If you guys like this, we can talk about it more and talk more about what the routines are, because I did want to get into routines, but why don't we do routines next week, kind of going off of this topic?
Yes. If we can't get Ashley on the podcast, then we
Yes.
can get the routines on the podcast.
Yes. And then if not, maybe we can do it the following week. But anyways, we'll figure it out. You guys stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed this one. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.